Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. Let me make sure I don't have another window about to start echoing on me here. I think we're okay. How's it going, Jean?
It's going great, Shane. How are you?
Oh, doing wonderful. Let me get the time up here on the chat. So if you guys are just joining us, you can see the pinned comment there. Jean is connecting with your loved ones. We just need your name, their name and relationship, and pets as well. And they can be alive or passed on. Spirit guides as well. And if you put it in caps, it will make it so much easier for us to see it down there. Yeah, so what is going on with you, Jean? Do you have any news or any events you want to?
Oh my gosh, Shane. It was such a wonderful October and November. I did two live psychic fairs in October and two live psychic fairs in November. And they were back to back Saturday and Saturday. And it was just really amazing. They really get addictive, I have to say, because I meet so many wonderful people. The people that come and sit in my chair and the information and the energy that comes through is just mind blowing. I learn something new every time I do one of these shows, and it's very, very rewarding work and so inspiring. The people that are out there, in the forefront and what they know. Like you don't think, we're all here, we're together, we understand like certain concepts or certain beliefs or certain understandings and universal concepts and laws and things like this. But the people that are walking around every day come in and sit down in my seat and they're like, yep, I'm a galactic light being. And I'm like, like, oh my God, it's just crazy. I'm like, yes, it's so wonderful. It's so confirming. It's so inspiring. I love it. And I said, did you know she said, I want to know more about my guides. And I said, do you know you have galactic guides? And she goes, well, I speak to the Palladians. And I'm like, yeah, that's galactic. It's just really, really, really inspiring, and it's so uplifting. I really love it. And yeah, but I think that the live psychic fair season has dwindled down a little bit. Usually in the winter months up here in the Northeast, it kind of slows down, and then in the spring it ramps back up again.
Very cool. Well, I think it's
Mhm.
really exciting that you're even doing these in person like this, you know?
I know, I
And it
know.
and it's really encouraging to me as well to see how far you've come and just how much just really trusting that allows more through. And that's what I feel like most of my gifts that I've been realizing are coming on. A lot of it just has to do with getting over that disbelief, you know? Because I think we get things all the time. We just kind of push it in the back, or it's so subtle because we don't give it any weight, you know? But as soon as we start giving more weight to that intuitive ping that we get for different things, the more you realize to trust it and the more it seems to come through. And I've had, I don't know how energy's been for you all, but it's been really intense, probably last 2 months, maybe, probably more intense than it's been in years. But I mean, I'm handling it okay. It's just like, wow, this is extremes, a lot of amplifying of whatever your emotions are. So it's like, it's easy to see like, oh wow, I'm going the wrong direction with that, and to sort of catch yourself before you go too deep, you know, into negative thinking because it's a constant battle, you know.
It is. It is. And us, building that strength within us is really important because it radiates out to others. I saw your Dolores Cannon download, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant. It was beautiful, and I love your delivery of it as well. That was really very inspiring, and it's been something that it's it's in, I understand that it's her energy coming through, sharing that information, but I felt a little bit of your higher self coming through that as well. I'm not sure if you felt that too.
Oh,
I,
totally. Yeah, it made me realize that she's been more involved. Well, I knew she was a spirit guy, but you don't give it much thought until you're like, wow, she must have been helping me a lot longer than I realized with this. You know, she sort of just popped into my awareness. It was completely unexpected, you know, and I think that was
wow.
kind of important for believing it, because it wasn't like, let me connect with Dolores Cannon or something, and then like it happened. It was like sort of like the way Eileen comes through or my brother came through. It's so unexpected that I know it wasn't me. I'm thinking about something else, and then bam, I'm hearing Dolores Cannon in my head. I'm like, what am I hearing? You know what I mean? But it's like that knowing that you get with it that takes it out of the realm of just your normal imagination, even though it happens sort of in that hollow deck, if you will, of your mind space, where you have your inner ear and inner sight and all of that going on. But it's very much different because it wasn't like a moment of needing to figure out who it is. It's like, wait, who is that? It's like I
Oh,
immediately knew it was Dolores Cannon.
oh, okay, great. It came
Yeah,
through
so
as a knowing.
yeah,
Wow.
along with actually hearing her voice, like with my brother, because a lot of times it's just you get a knowing about something, you don't actually hear their voice in your head. But with that, like I explained, it was almost like the way you hear my voice now, and you can do a replay of it in your mind and hear the last thing I said pretty clearly. It was just like that, so it wasn't like audible, but it was just as clear as if she had just said it audibly. Pretty
Wow.
cool.
That is that is amazing.
And
It's
that's a totally
beautiful.
new experience. So
Wow. And a lot of our abilities are coming online now with, all of us. And it is, sometimes I know with the classes that I've taken that a lot of, and the practices that I've taken that people say, oh, that's psychic. Like I always get like those thoughts or that gut feeling or that, and they're like, oh, that's psychic. Like I didn't know I was already doing it. And it's almost like the training goes into building on that, focusing on that, and allowing more of that to come through, like acknowledging it and not saying, oh, I don't know, like not dismissing it, and also at the same time relaxing that analytical side and that judgmental side and the ego that says no, you weren't hearing that. Just, that was just your imagination. Well, this is how they talk to us. This is how they communicate with us, is through our imagination. Did you ever do something and then all of a sudden have something pop into your head? Well, that is inspiration.
mhm.
That is, even if it's another task that you forgot, it's your spirit guides helping you and nudging you. And and knowing that you didn't just think of that yourself, you didn't just jump from one thought to another yourself. And it is part of you, but it's also your guides and your intuition popping in. So it's a lot of these things that are psychic we do every day anyway. It was just that we don't focus on it and build on it and train. It's like a muscle. It really is.
Well, even if you told me even a year ago that I would do some kind of Cannon message channeling or whatever, I would have never believed you because I would have never thought I'd even have the faith. But it was so clear that I didn't want to shut it down either. I was like, if I don't deliver this, she's not going to come back and talk to me anymore if I'm not passing on her message, right? So for me, it was more important that I don't close that door, that I just trust it, move forward. And it was a very empowering message. If it had been fearful or something, then I would have felt differently about it. But everything was in alignment. I resonated with the message, so I went with it. Yeah.
And it was important to get it out into the masses. And you being this um, sharer of knowledge is important too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the fact that I've been around all this time, if I was going to make something up, I could have done it years ago, right? So, and it's the same way with watching you progress so much, you know what I mean? To think like just hanging out in the love stream, and then here we are now, all this time later, and to see them really you honing in on those gifts and to realize how much stronger they do come in over time is, I think, an encouragement to all of us to take a little time and tap in. And I'm going to be putting out a video soon that shows just how much just taking a little bit of time and meditation can allow great information to come through. So,
Well, I did a little digging, and you guys can do this too, but I did a little digging and went back to a place where you had me on your show, and I was doing tarot card readings and reading from the book. I would hold them up, and you would be like, "Oh no, no, it's you can't see it. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left," and you couldn't see it because it was too blurry, whatever computer I was using, and and then I would be like, okay, Queen of Cups, and I would go on to the book and read the book, and then I would sort of get a hit off of that. So it was like so long and so painful. I was like, oh my gosh, but it's still out there, y'all. You'll see where how I started.
And isn't it interesting because I notice a lot of tools like that. At first, it sort of gives your left brain something to kind of mess around with, and it allows like the intuitive part, like okay, it's busy over there with reading that or trying to figure it out in an analytical way, and then it's like the higher self can come through with a divine message. So I think it's cool that you can move away from having to keep your left brain busy in that way, and just trusting what's coming through in the progression you can see, over time. It's beautiful.
Hmm. I do still need to keep my left brain busy, and I do need to alter my state of consciousness into a meditative type of frequency where I kind of just like, you know how when you look at something and you relax your eyes and you kind of like look past it, but like your eyes are forward, but you're really thinking of something else.
Hmm.
That's sort of like the kind of a altered state of consciousness that I'm in. I'm not really focusing or thinking on anything. I'm just kind of relaxing and then allowing the information to come in. So
That's
yeah,
very
it's
cool.
mhm, mhm. So
Uh,
hi, Lord Kemper. So nice to see you. When I listened to the first time, the energy physically moved me back. Wow. Flourishing Spirits is here. Viviani is here. Thanks for being here, Viviani. She's a wonderful moderator. And Jessica Lynn is here. So nice to see you. Oh, she's very interested in the Dolores Cannon information. And Jessica, I'm not sure if you had a chance to. Oh, she said, I'll have to watch that. Yeah. I would love any messages from my friend Genevieve. I see Deborah Beneke is here asking a question, and we'll make a note of that.
High Vibe
And
Works. I don't know if you mentioned them.
uh,
Welcome.
uh, Debbie
Debbie
Hazelton is
Hazelton. Hey,
here.
Debbie.
I know you start at the top and go down. I start at the bottom and go up. I see High Vibe Works. Yes. Any messages for me? I see that. Good job, you guys, putting those caps in. It really helps a lot, you guys.
Yeah, it really
It
does.
just because the chat jumped and it's really nice. And Shane doesn't have the ability to star the questions. He really just makes a note of them and goes back up and down, because with the other program that we use, we star them and it almost highlights them and puts them in another folder, and then we see all the questions. So
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Mhm. Mhm. Ah.
Okay. Well, I got the timestamps though.
Mhm.
Very cool. All right. Are we ready to get right into it?
I am ready whenever you are. Yeah, we have a crew here today.
Absolutely. Let's see here. I'm scrolling, scrolling. Here we go. Please post. Oh, any message for me? High Vibe Works wants to know. Maybe we can connect to their higher team, higher their guides.
Sure. I love the way you say we. So if when you feel guided, Shane, please feel free.
We're all in one accord. Not the Honda either, but
So high five works. I feel that you are already in awareness of your spirit guides and angels and your guidance. I'm not sure if you do some other kind of a divination tool. I don't know, I would highly recommend that you do get one. And this is part of your life path, but you may not wish to be of service to others, but you may want to build your own connection and your own information that comes through, and perhaps even do like a blog of some sort. Um, they're just telling me that you can feel the tap, you can feel the call, you can feel the shift. You're very sensitive. You're a clear sentient. you can feel like your energy and your empath as well. The empath is with emotions and other humans, but the energy is the shift in the frequency. You can feel this in your physical body as well. And this will be very helpful for others because you can feel and sense the subtle shifts, the subtle energy changes. Um, they're also saying that you probably have crystals around you, and this is really helps to tune into understanding and getting used to the the subtlety of the energy, like the subtle energy of a crystal. To tune into this and to feel it and to have it work with you really helps you to tune into the other subtle energies. So she says, yes, I am a writer. I do feel, wow, excellent, excellent. So they're just saying that this is going to come on more stronger for you, and that you are this is not only your interest, this is a calling. It's almost like what you are seeking is seeking you, and to trust that and to follow that. You may even want to, I'm not sure if you ever took a Reiki class, but sometimes things like this, even though it's not something that you want to ultimately do, it's important information and it opens up your awareness even more. So any type of sound healing or Reiki class, or there's so many different types of classes. Oh, I just thought of something too. I have Kyle Gray, Kyle Gray, who does oracle cards, and let me just show you some of my favorite oracle cards he does. And he's an angel. I don't know. He does connects with angels, and he's an author, and he does oracle cards as well. He had a free crystal class on YouTube, and I put it on my community page. So you can either look up Kyle Gray on YouTube directly, or you can go to my SunPsychic Jean, go to my community page, and it's part 1 and part 2. And they're just short, like little 40-minute crystal classes, but it was really the fundamental and the basics. And I love his accent. So I thought it was a wealth of knowledge, and it was free. It was very interesting that he did that. So I wanted to make sure I shared that with everybody in case you're interested. Yeah, it was a really nice resource. Oh, she's certified in Reiki as well. Yep, yep. Yes. So this is all going to be coming. Oh, good. You do it with on your friends and family. This is all going to be coming together for you soon. I feel as though you can feel the pull. You can feel like they're going to be asking you to do something. You're going to be called to action in some way, and they're just letting you know that you're feeling the ramping up of the frequency and the vibration around you. Good for you. Excellent.
That's wonderful.
So it's pretty
And,
much just that confirmation.
and from what I hear, a lot of people, even dreams. I've had a few dreams lately, but for other people, they've really ramped up quite a bit. And so, yeah, I would expect, I would have everybody look for and expect for new things to happen, new energies, not to freak out of. Because I've even felt jittery at times, like, "Oh, I really need to just, it's almost like you can feel like you're vibrating out of, just your thoughts and everything can move you in the wrong direction, and you can like sense it a little bit sooner. You're like, oh, I didn't even realize what my mind had wandered onto. But even those things are so much of a help because a lot of times we'll let our thoughts carry us away so far that it takes us to somewhere that's hard to get back out of. So it's like I love that notification, that like wow, that feels it doesn't resonate. You know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, and then it's kind of like touching a hot skillet or something. So it's uncomfortable, but it's a good thing ultimately because now it's like we've got these little indicators or notifications. Like, why do I feel like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to watch my thoughts or I need to, create the reality I want rather than worrying about what I just saw. I didn't realize I was still worrying. Here it was an hour later, and I was worrying about maybe a news bit or something. So
Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
let's see.
Yeah.
Jessica Loon.
Mhm.
Thank you for this
It's
question. Did you have anything to
it,
add to that, Jean? I'm
oh,
sorry.
well, it's almost like we can sense it faster when we're not in that harmony of where we are used to being.
Mhm.
If we get out of alignment, we can sense that faster. And that's a muscle that we all build. And it may be different for each one of us, but this is the evolution of humanity and the frequency that we're all changing into. And going back into the denser frequencies are not serving us anymore. And we know that we can perform, we can live, we can have more information and just have a more of a connection with our spiritual guides when we're at this different frequency than if at the old frequency. And more when we slip back in it, we realize, nah, this isn't me anymore. This doesn't resonate with me anymore. You might
Mhm.
want to get rid of some old books, or you might want to get rid of some old clothes, or you might want to, change some things around you that just don't resonate or make you happy anymore. And this is because your vibration is changing, but we're all changing. So,
One of the
yeah.
ways I saw it visually in meditation, this sort of separation in the frequencies or densities was almost like when you have water and oil together and they kind of sit on top of each other, and there's more of a distinct difference between those higher frequencies and lower frequencies. So, in a way, it can be your benefit because it's like it's denser, so it almost supports you in a way. You know what I mean? It like keeps you from plunging down into that because you're like, whoa, you notice it right away. So there's even benefit to sort of this extreme line, if you will, of frequencies of, and I don't know if that's going to continue to get stronger and more defined, and then we're just kind of pop onto the side that we most resonate with. Because I can imagine if you enjoy this down here, this up here would feel kind of uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't like rainbows and butterflies. You know what I mean?
hmm I think we're being called, though. I think we all feel this calling when we're in a denser energy to swim out, to reach out, to seek, to find.
Yeah.
And that's what calls us calls us from that denser energy into a lighter, more different frequency. And that's really interesting that you said that. I like that oil and water analogy and the way that it pops you back up. So
Right.
you can't stay in there anymore because you don't resonate with that
Hmm.
frequency. And it's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's just different, and we're changing and we're evolving, and Earth is evolving. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Totally.
So deep there, Shane.
Thanks.
Okay, so you want to take Jessica's question? She says, "May I have a message from my guides, please?" Mm. Jessica is also connected. Feels as though she's also a practitioner. She's It's almost like there's many of us like on standby, on the ready, and we're going to be needing to help our fellow neighbors, our community members, with advice, with a word of wisdom. I've been there, and this is what I did when I was there. Similar to what I'm doing for you guys and what Shane is doing for you guys. It's all like a trickle down effect that we're all going to be assisting one another and helping each other up. It's almost like, you know, stepping up on a step and turning around and helping that next person up on that step. Um, so this is you're part of the light working community, Jessica, and you're also working on the grid and the earth as well simultaneously. I'm not sure if you have a energetic you also have a galactic and the it seems oxymoron that we have a galactic connection to Earth, but it's like this galactic connection is your past life as an off-planet being agreeing to come to Earth at this time to help Earth ascend. And because we all love Earth, because we know Earth, because we are part of Earth, and as a galactic being, being part of Earth and helping it to ascend. So this is it's not Earth beings or galactic beings. We are all, they call us galactic beings because we're all one. Um, so they know that you have this connection. They know that you have this love for Earth. They know that you have this um, light working ability and this grid work ability, this calling to the sacred sites. I feel that you may be a little overwhelmed with what is being requested and or your own ability to make a difference. And what they want to remind you, Jessica, is that your light resides in here, and to focus and to pay attention to your light and maintaining and helping your light to shine brightly and to balance the frequencies in your own chakras and heal your own aura, because it is with this light and this energy that is going to connect to each and every one of the others in your soul group or in this light working group that will ultimately help Gaia to evolve. So one person can't do it all, but we can't do it at all unless each one person takes care of themselves. So by taking care of yourself, you're being an integral part of the whole. Does that make sense? Oh, she said yes. I'm in the helping field. Wow.
That's interesting. She said, "I wonder what star system," and that I do feel like a starseed. She says, and I actually got a message for myself that I was representing 4 star systems. So I guess we can be sort of mixed in the way I'm mixed in human races. We can be mixed in star races. And in fact, I think many of us do have many lives in many different places, but some of them do feel more like home than others too. So.
Mm-hmm. So, Jessica, there's a lot of light workers here from the Sirius B star system, as well as I don't know where the mantis beings are, but they are very hugely compassionate and loving beings that are very almost like guardians of the earth and her energy. They're very connected to Gaia's energy and her ability, just her health, I guess. And I believe the Palladians as well. So you have had experiences on all of these and collectively, but each one of these experiences or past lifetimes has afforded you to integrate different aspects of those lifetimes here on Earth. So believe that. Absolutely.
Many of us have Egyptian connections too, and even on Venus as well. So this star system is no stranger to us either. You know?
Atlantis, Lemuria, and
Yep.
this is like the cycle.
Yeah.
Atlantis, Lemuria, and Egypt. This is all like a big cycle that we keep coming back and doing it again and again. And this time we've got it right, or else we wouldn't have gotten this far.
It's fun. It's exciting. Let's see. Flourishing spirits. How are you? What important message do my guides want to give me today? Thank you for the question, Flourishing Spirits.
I feel that they want to. They're showing me you outside, looking at the wide open land. They're inviting you to do more activities outside and perhaps more hiking or more remote areas. Um, it's almost like your gaze, your eyes need to rest from, whatever the screen time is or the writing is, or I'm not sure if you do artwork, whatever that close knit focus that you have on your eyes. They want you to relax your eyes and have like even if you go into like a vista of some sort and just watch over the hills of all of the land, all of the different landscapes in front of you. They're just saying that this is nourishing to your soul to see this wide open space. Outside, the trees are going to be helping to heal you as well. I see pine needles, a lot of pine trees around, and pine cones that maybe hiking in this type of area would be healing for you. And also, they're saying it's not just for you, flourishing spirits, it's you being able to transcend or transmute your energy into Gaia as you're walking along. That we are here to help Gaia ascend. And it is not only our own energy that they want to heal, they want to heal us in the sense that we can bring in more energy to ground for Gaia. It's all, we're like, we're part of it. It has to come through us because we can receive it and then ground it. But we are all working together, and it's a little bit different than the last question, because she was doing the grid, which is the energy field around Earth, and you are sort of grounding the frequency and the information and the healing that you're receiving. So it's healing you by being outside and walking in this wide open space, but it's also healing Gaia. That's what I'm getting.
Wow, I love that. And we really are all working together. That's why it's so important for us to go within for that guidance, because it's like we're all in different departments doing different things. Thank you for that question, Flourishing Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that getting out, and I can totally see how that could benefit the eyes for sure. Vivian. Let's see. Viviana, is it?
Viviani.
Viviani. Okay. May I have a message from my guides about my path and next steps, please? Thank you. And thank you for the question, Viviani.
They're saying that you make huge strides with small steps, that not to dismiss the small steps that you are taking in a direction, because that is a huge shift in your own vibration and awareness. You have grown leaps and bounds, but you feel as though you haven't changed much. But it is much. It is a lot. It is an awareness, and it is an energetic change that you feel in your frequency. And I think you also resonated when we were talking about earlier that the things surrounding you just they don't resonate with you anymore. Like you want to get rid of some clothes or get rid of some books, or like that was like the old me is what you're feeling. I sense that. And they just want you to recognize that even the smallest steps or the smallest shifts are monumental, and to recognize and to appreciate that. But your awareness is really expanding at a fast pace. You remind me of myself. I can remember I went to a class in the neighborhood, well, near me. It was like about 45 minutes away, and I would have to drive there after work, and it was like so hard getting there. But I would go every week, and I told my teacher and the group, it was like a meditation group that I was in, and I told them, I said, I don't know what's happening. I'm expanding. My awareness is just blowing up, and I don't know where to turn or what to do, because I could feel it just really catapulting and moving at such a fast pace, but I didn't know anything. I couldn't articulate anything. I didn't understand anything. All I knew was all of this awareness was happening, and it was coming at me in so many different directions. So I feel as this may be the stage where you are, that you're accelerating in your awareness, and you have so many different interests and you're smart as a whip, Viviani, and you have the ability and the capability, and you're used to consuming information and concepts very quickly. But this is vast. This is big, and there's so many different threads to this entire concept, and they're just asking you to pace yourself, be patient with yourself. And Shane, I think I did a BQH with you one time, and this is what they told me, if you remember, to pace yourself, that you can't just swallow the steak whole. You have to take it bite by bite, and you have to do it a little bit at a time, because we can't take it on all at once. It's really it's very important to take it incrementally, and to be to celebrate the small shifts that we are making, because this is the foundation that you're going to be building on. I keep telling myself I'm going to edit those BQHs, but I still have them. But that's what I'm hearing for you, Viviani, is you have an accelerated awakening and an accelerated awareness, and you have knowings, and you just don't know where it's going to land. But just pace yourself, take your time, keep up with the learning, and exposing yourself to different information and energies and frequencies, like sound healing, like Reiki, like all different types of exposure to spiritual or metaphysical types of information, and one will build on the other. These are all really good questions. I think we're having a master class right here.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, man, it's got so much great information that we can glean for our own journey here. Flourishing Spirits checked back in. Check this out. She says, yes, I live in the high desert, lots of places to hike. Odd, have eye issues at this time. Grounding, okay. Nice, I walk in open space every morning.
Wow. I can see them saying that it's good for your it's good for your eyes, but it's also, you're drinking in the information, and it's good for your soul. It's like this is, you know how they say when you consume things, you're consuming the open vast vistas. I don't know what else to call it, like the landscapes that you're looking at as you're walking.
Right. It's like nature's background, It's like just connecting to the vastness of really who we are, because we don't end at the skin, right?
Exactly. You can ask when you're out there for them to help heal you, and heal the eye, receive a healing for your eye while you're out there.
While I'm talking about flourishing spirit, she says, whoa, I've seen the mantis beings in my living room. Wow, that's very cool.
Very cool. They're very, very loving beings. They're a little bit startling, I think, but they're extremely loving, and they're here on a mission to help Gaia.
Totally. Lark is up. Thank you for the question, Lark. Any message is for me.
Hi, Lark. Thank you for all your support, Lark. I really appreciate it, and I can feel your energy. He's so very supportive when I'm live. I appreciate that. They're showing me books around you, Lark. I'm not sure if you read a lot of books or if you are an author yourself. They're showing me you with actual, tangible, paper and print type of books. You have an investigative mind. You have an inquisitive, scientific kind of mind, and you want to have like a hypothesis and a test and a I'm getting a sense that you have an affinity. You may have said this to me before, and if you do, I apologize ahead of time. But I do feel that you have an affinity to Nikola Tesla, like this kind of intuitive and intellectual and scientific type of mind, and inquisitive type of mind. And you are very interested in the energy and the frequency, and this is the wave of the future, and you have a lot of knowledge that you have gathered, and you're just waiting for it to disseminate. And I feel as though you might want to consider writing a book or writing a blog or sharing this information in some way, shape, or form that you see fit, that you feel comfortable. And it's not that you have to be an expert in the frequency or vibration or the science behind that phenomena. It's just that they want you to write and share what you've learned, almost like what you know, what you understand, how you see it. It's almost like from your point of view, they want you to share this. I do also feel that you've been with us in the Lemuria and Egypt type of, like, you're definitely one of our soul family, soul groups, and have been reincarnated with our soul group as well. And you're here on the mission as well. They just want you to share your wisdom, Lark. They're saying you love learning, you love absorbing information, and they're now telling me that the feeling and the sensation of the vibration, not that it's new for you, but the fact that you can feel it from other people is becoming more and more for you. Like your empathic self and your intuitive and energetic self is becoming more in tune. And they're saying that this is going to increase as well. Nice. Very good. I hope that makes sense for you.
Very cool. Thank you for the question, Lark. And I feel that connection too. And you can, I think, it's cool that our whole group here, we do have that synergistic effect of all of our energies combining to even create stronger energy. Okay, Deborah. Hi, would love any messages from my friend Genevieve, who passed in September. So sorry for your loss, Deborah.
Yes. Sorry for your loss. She's saying that you two are soul sisters. And what I mean by that is that you've shared lifetimes together before, and that you truly understood one another, and it was effortless. The companionship that you shared, there was so much. She's telling me blood, sweat, and tears that you two had shared together, whether it was a crisis for you or a crisis for her. It was always you two were there to support one another. And it was she's telling me that she understands that with her loss, you feel as though you've lost a limb. You feel as though you don't have the mobility of one of your limbs, and you are sort of not whole. And she's saying that this is the energetic frequency that when we are together with a soulmate or a friend, we have an energy that blends with their physical vibration. And when this energy is no longer in this physical realm, that we feel the difference in the vibration and uh, the it's almost like that vibration that was connected to them is no longer there, and it's almost like we feel empty there. It's like we feel like this doesn't work, or that I don't have a limb, because it was so much a part of who you were, and this vibration and this reflection and this knowing, like I was her friend and she knew so much about me, and she and that now that she's no longer here in the physical realm, she is still here, but she's just not here in the physical realm. that our human physical bodies have this uh, a loss of that energy, that sensation, that vibration of that energy always being there. And with her energy no longer being on earth, you can feel the difference in the sensation in your own body, in your own physical energy, almost like in your auric field. She's saying this is how connected and how synchronistic you two were as friends. She wants you to know that the connection is still there. She is still and always will be your friend, and has and always will was your friend in the past, always connected with you. And she's saying that to be kind to your human self with this separation sort of pain that is happening to your physicalness. And she said, just understand during all of this physical separation that you're going through, that the spiritual connection and the energetic connection is strengthening. It's getting stronger. And she said she can hear your thoughts. She can connect to you. She said she can help you with your ascension, with your awareness, with your uh, communication, with your communication. She said that if you want to sit down and write a letter, that she'll help to share words with you and or memories with you. She said when you get out pictures and look through different things that you've been through together, she'll be able to come in closer. You can also ask her for feathers, for dimes, for numbers, for flowers to make you laugh. Like you can ask her for these things or remind you, like show me a song that we used to have together or whatever, and just ask her for these things. And you may not get them that day, you may not get them that week, but out of the blue, and I'm telling you, Spirit loves to do this. They love to surprise us when we least expect it, and just come in with something out of the blue, so that we're like, and we know it was them. but but you have to like almost forget about that you asked, because they don't do it when we can't say, okay, give me a feather, I'm waiting for a feather. You can say, show me a feather, and then you have to forget about it, and then like a week later you'll be like, oh, I remember I asked for that, and you'll feel the difference. So this is the communication that she says that you might want to start working to develop with her. Yeah.
Great advice. And I think a lot of our loved ones that have passed over are there to help us during this time because it's huge. And just because, you leave this plane of existence, that doesn't mean you're not involved anymore. At least that's not been the case for me and my loved ones. They're still very much involved. And I think the more we pay attention, the more we'll see the little signs and synchronicities and ways they're trying to communicate with us.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for your question, Deborah.
Yeah, thank you
So
so much,
sorry for
Deborah.
your loss. And it doesn't have to be a child or a spouse. For us to feel this change in our frequency and the pain and the separation, the physical separation is a human. It really is, and they've showed me that it's almost like a tearing away of part of you. And people always say they feel empty, or I feel like I lost my arm, or because it's a vibration that they used to have, even though you weren't in the same room together. Her being here in this world, had you feel you were able to pick up on her energy. But because the physicality is no longer here, it feels so different for you. And this is the grieving process for the human that they've told me several times.
Absolutely. And thank you, Debbie Hazelton, a good friend of mine, hopped in the chat here. She says, SunPsychic Jean, thank you for the very kind message on my birthday. Wondering if you have anything for me around my work, love, or home. She corrected a little bit later.
Hmm. You're welcome, Debbie. How cute. Yeah, I love to do that on Facebook. Send a little birthday cheer,
Oh, nice.
letting you know that I'm thinking of you. So I feel, Debbie, that you may you may want to reframe work into play. Your spirit guides are saying that it's for you to find something that you love to play, you love to do. I believe you do like to learn information, obviously, about uh, the universe and Earth and the evolution and humanity. Like, you are a global thinker, you're a universal thinker, and you have such thirst for knowledge, and you love to expand your mind and learn about things. Um, she's a Reiki master, a BQH practitioner, and you work on many levels, and you're a public speaker. Wow. Wow. Um, Yeah, and this is your play. So they're saying, they said for you that W word is a four-letter word, and they want you to work on perhaps choosing play or choosing um, something that will follow, like a bliss, follow your bliss. Um, and they're saying through this, the people that you meet is where you'll find your love. And it was work, love, or what was the other thing? I don't remember.
Home, love, and work.
Oh, home. Okay. I do feel as though the people that you surround yourself with and that you engage with in these modalities that you are practicing, the love and the appreciation from others that receive services, and the ability to help others who truly cannot help themselves. They're just saying is the greatest love of all. To drink that in and focus on that and feel it deeply. But you do love to consume knowledge and information, and you are ravenous when it comes to a new concept that you don't know too much about. You just are relentless until you have searched every corner of the concept and revealed what it is, what it means to you. Um, and this is playful for you. This is exciting for you. This is blissful for you. And then this also affords you to be of service to others. As far as home, I see a community, almost like a shared home, almost like a couple of roommates, or maybe even like an apartment building with apartments that are close by, that you have neighbors that are close by. I don't see you secluded. I see you in a community. And it's almost like if you were to meet daily with these neighbors, and doing something, or getting together for a gathering, or getting together to travel somewhere. It's something like a group that you frequently are around. And your energy, just by being you and being at your frequency, is assisting others to awaken and to change their own vibration. and they don't even know that it's you. They just think that they have this inspiration or this desire to know more. And here it's just you sitting there quietly, sitting beside them. That is inspiring. Isn't that cool? That's cool.
Wow, how
Yeah.
beautiful, Debbie. Wonder if Debbie's still here. I actually got a BQH session with Debbie a few years ago that was awesome. And that I think that was the one where I went back to the painting that I'd created as a kid, and I like went in. I was in the painting, and I didn't realize I was in my own creation. Um, it was just being shown that when we create in our art and things, we're really creating, and so much so that I could literally go there decades later. Think, why is this place so familiar? Like, wait, this is the painting I did, my Bob Ross painting back as a teenager that I entered. So I think it was a very important sign that when we imagine, when we create, it's creating something and it doesn't go away, because decades later, when I even lost the painting, I don't even know where the painting is, but it doesn't matter. I can just go there. So yeah, it's very cool. So Debbie, I hope you're still around here, or you can check this later. Sending you lots of love, and that's Debbie
Yeah. Thank
Hazelton.
you. Hmm. Thank you very much.
Let's see, Virginia Dare. Any messages from Stumpy the cat?
Hi, Virginia. Poor Stumpy. I hope that wasn't his tail or something.
Right.
That would be Stubby. Stumpy might be maybe one of his. But yeah, I feel as though there's a literal reason for this name.
There we go. That one's got some emojis.
Switching gears here. I'm calling Stumpy. Stumpy. Maybe is it he? Maybe he was elusive and hiding and out of sight a lot, almost in his own little world. And he would come out to visit you once in a while, and then he would go back into his like magical land. I'm not sure if this is true. I'm just trying to call him in, and he seems to be around but out of sight, and not out of sight but out of reach almost. So I'm not sure if that means makes any sense to you, or if he had like a favorite hiding spot that would be like really out of the way, and nobody would ever guess that he was there. Like you know, a dangerous place even is what I'm feeling, like behind the refrigerator or something. You're like, how did you get back there? And he loves going back there, and you tried to stop him from going back there, or whatever it was. It was a place that he loved to go and hide and just be. And I'm not sure if any of this makes sense to you, Virginia. Let us know if this sounds like Stumpy. But I'm getting him being elusive, and I'm getting him being almost liking to sleep and hide away in obscure spots, and you almost could never find him, and he would be asleep in like, you know, maybe like the bottom of the linen closet or something. Like, how did you get in there? What are you doing in there? It was just I'm not sure. So I see you say hi, Virginia. I'm not sure if you can let us know. I know there's a little bit of a delay.
Actually, I think we got it down to a few seconds now, so it's not too bad.
He was a big boy. He had a place I didn't want him to go. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So he would keep getting into that place where you didn't want him to go. I kind of saw like you would like try and make a barricade, and he would find a way to get back there again. It was almost like his spot. And I think that because he's a male cat now that you told me this, that he may have marked the spot for him and it was like his spot and nobody else would walk through it or be in it. And he liked the seclusion. He liked his privacy. He liked the seclusion. He liked um, the challenge of getting in and out of that spot. But okay, Stumpy, let's get away from the spot and tell me a little bit more about yourself. He seemed to be, I wouldn't say grumpy, but he was, and I know finicky is typical for cats, but he was particular. He was demanding and he wanted it his way. And a lot of cats are like that. Um, but when he wanted to play, boy, he wanted to play, and it was his time, and he would let you know when he wanted to play and communicate and interact with you. But if he did not want to play, it was like out of sight, out of mind. He had his moods, and you knew when he wanted to be seen and heard, and you knew when he wanted to be rambunctious. He's showing me, and then it would be like he wouldn't be around. It'd be like, so quiet in here. Where did he go? Like it's almost saying he had many facets. He said, but he just wants to thank you for the love and the care that you gave him. Um, he's saying that you were very kind to him and patient and loving. He says that he loved that you shared your secrets with him and that you almost like cried on his shoulder. He said he was with you for many years through thick and thin. And he said that he was proud to be there for you when you needed him to be. He understood that he was sharing a human life. He was sharing with you your human life. And he was honored to be sort of like a support system for you. This was his mission. This was his goal. This was his job, as well as being a cat and having all of those little idiosyncrasies that I had described. He said one didn't come without the other. He's saying that you gave him much care towards the end before his passing. I feel as though there was like a diagnosis and he didn't really act or look ill, but it was something like some sort of a system within his, I don't know if it was respiratory system or his digestive system or some sort of a system had a disruption in it that was inoperable and necessary to help him to leave this earth. And he just wants to thank you for that. He was in like a silent pain kind of thing. I'm not sure. There was some obstruction or something. But he just wants to thank you for that. Thank you for being brave and to releasing me from this body that was no longer suitable for his energy. And he just wants you to know that he loves you.
Awesome.
I suspect him of hiding out in an old meth trailer. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. He would hide from me. Thank you. Wow.
It's so
Wow.
funny that you picked up on that, you know. It's almost like he's still doing it from the other side. Don't worry, you might not see him, but he's around helping, trust me. You know,
Yeah,
the
she said
silent helper.
she thinks it was cancer. But you know why I said that? Because I called him. Remember I said I'm calling him, I'm calling Stumpy, and I could feel his energy, but he wasn't coming. Like I could feel him hear me, but he wasn't coming towards me. And I thought, oh, you do this a lot. Like this is part of his behavior. So I started to describe what he was doing to me, and I felt like he did this with you. And he's showing me this by not coming. I could feel his awareness of me calling him, but I couldn't see him, and he wouldn't show me what he looked like. He wouldn't come to me or show anything. So I'm like, oh, you couldn't see him a lot. You couldn't find him a lot. But I could tell in his energy that he was aware of me calling him. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, and it's almost like exercising his free will to go when he's ready, you know. So he was probably stubborn, you know, sort of stubborn in his real life too. So this side of the veil. So thanks for that verification, Virginia. And I love when we can see their personality come through like that. A great question from Jill, because this is kind of I think a lot of people I talk to are dealing with this. Question, please. Do my guides have any messages? I seem to so restless and fearful lately.
Hmm. It's you are picking up the collective energies out there, and you're here to help transmute them. You're here to reveal the illusion. Fear is a false concept designed to manipulate, and it's an illusion that we're all powerful beings, energetic beings, that we have no fear. We have nothing to fear. And it's this reminder and this transmuting of this energy that is for you to either practice protecting, not protecting, but taking care of your own energy so that you don't absorb it, and being careful of your what you consume so that you don't bring this thought form close to you, and um, and also for you to transmute it and to realize the beautiful sentient being that you are and that we all are, and that everything is going to be okay. And this is a necessary, it's like a critical point that we're all going through. I had an amazing, I do spiritual journeys, and I had an amazing breakthrough on a spiritual journey. And I don't remember a lot about it because it was all lead, but there was a point where they said that the energies on Earth were like kind of coming down and squeezing. And it's like there was this little wormhole. It was like one of those, you know, how it's like an inverted hole, like a tortoise or whatever, and it looked like the inside of a donut almost. And they said that Earth's energies, the denseness and the pressure and the energies kind of coming down and being placed upon Earth at this time is like a pressure. And I said, we're going to be moving into this new dimension. It's like this age of Aquarius, or this new place in the universe, that we needed to go through this hole and this wormhole or something. And I was like saying this Earth was needed to go through. And the woman who I was doing the spiritual journey with, she said, like a womb. And I just flat out screamed. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the womb. We're going through this, the change in the frequency is only this big, and Earth is this big, and we all have to be pressured down into that to get through there. So it is a dense, heavy, pressured type of feeling, but we need to have this come in order for us to get through. And I said, I feel elated. I feel fresh. I feel relieved. I feel reborn and all new and like it was like a whole new life. And I've heard this, and Loris Cannon has said this, and I couldn't figure out what that little wormhole was doing and why Earth was being, sent towards this. And when my friend said that, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I said, that's exactly it. It is the birth of the new Earth. And I saw it in my spiritual journey. I'll do a video on it one day soon, but oh my gosh, it was life changing. But the reason why I'm saying this, Jill, is this may be also what you're feeling. This pressure, this uh, intense kind of a hold on things is maybe something that you're feeling as well. Because I know that you are universal in your awareness. But just understand that we're all here working together. It's not just one of us that's going to be able to make the difference or make a change. It's all of us together. So make sure you connect with your loved ones and your family and the family here and your fellow light workers, and share with them as much as you can. Um, yeah, that sense of relief. They say that Pluto is in Capricorn. It's going to be moving into Aquarius. It's the last planet to move into Aquarius. And we already are in the age of Aquarius, which is, I think it started around 2012, but we're moving into the sign of Aquarius. And this is the last planet to move into the sign of Aquarius. So they're saying that there is going to be a relief or a lifting of the energies, and not so much resistance and not so much pushing, is going to be more of a release at some point I think it's around the end of January. Yeah, but it goes back and forth a couple of times, but I think that that's like the beginning of the relief that we're going to be feeling as far as in a cosmic analogy.
I love that. And the relief that you can get any moment too by just taking that deep breath. I've had to do this, whether it's getting triggered for something or whatever. But if you feel like you were saying you were feeling sort of, what was the word? Anxious, I think you used, restless, you can actually just take a moment. A lot of times that's like fretting the future or worried about the uncertainty of something. But if you just bring yourself back to this now moment and realize, well, at least right now in this very moment, everything's perfect, everything's fine. Take a deep breath with a sigh of relief. The sigh of relief is so important because you hear yourself letting it go. And you just let it go and just stay in the moment. And that for me, that's been way more helpful than trying to set aside time to meditate. Is because you can do that in like 1 minute, and you can do it periodically throughout the day. You can always take a moment, even if you stop to pump the gas before you get going again. You can just take a moment and just breathe it in, reset yourself. Especially if you're triggered by something, if something like angers you, remember, like if you like can go back to 90 seconds is all it takes for your body to return to feeling normal after getting triggered about something, as long as you don't keep replaying it all day long, which a lot of us will do that. So our 90 seconds turns into 90 minutes, turns into the whole day, and then we might pass that crappy attitude off to someone else because we didn't let it go. So yeah, just that breath, I think, Jill, if you can remember to take that breath periodically, that's so helpful.
That's a great suggestion, Jane. It's really important to change that, change whatever it is and not let that, you know, continue.
Absolutely. It really does start with all the thinking. That's okay,
Hmm.
Debbie. You can rewind it back and check it out when you get to it. Okay. Are we down to curious looking inside? Is there a message from my dog, Honey? Thanks so much. Here we go. Curious looking inside. Thank you for the question, by the way.
Oh, let's see if we can get a hold of Honey. Sounds like a girl. I'm not sure though. It could be either. So I feel that your dog was quite like a baby almost. And what I mean by that is very childlike sort of attitude.
A boy.
Sorry, you guys. I think that might be me. Um, he's a young soul, and he almost was your baby, and he liked being your baby. It was um, it was very much like a doll baby for you, is what I'm feeling. That he was very much something that you adored, that you pampered, that you could have even dressed him up, and but he enjoyed it, and he was a very young soul, is what he's showing me, um, and he didn't mind being babied. You probably even carried him around like a baby. I don't know what it is. He's just telling me I was the baby. He could have. I don't think he's referring to the birth order. I think he was just saying that he was the baby. I'm not sure if you know how like little girls would play with their dolls. You would play with the dog, and the dog would let you do it, and the dog thought that this was his role, and you know, always was your baby. And really, I'm seeing like even if you were to be feeding him or, taking him for a walk or something, it would be he was just really young. Maybe not as I don't know. I don't like to say he wasn't a smart dog, but you really had to keep an eye on him. He would have gotten into a little bit of mischief if you left him on his own. So you had to keep an eye on him, and he's just showing me this phase of his life. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you. Curious looking inside. She said, okay, you did say boy. Yes,
Yes,
thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
hmm Mm, okay. So let me see if I can get a message from him for you. Just, I wanted to make sure that this sounded like your dog, that I wasn't picking up somebody else's baby. Um, he said he loved the experience. He loved the love. He loved the doting and the pampering. Um, he loved playing the part, and he loved the way that you loved him. Uh, it's almost like as he grew up, he kind of like kept playing the part because he loved the attention. And he knew that you really needed, you were very much a nurturer. You know how some people just need something to take care of, and he knew that this was a need inside of you, and he wanted to play this part for you. Even though he was growing up, he still loved the attention. I don't know whether you would call him something. I know his name is Honey, but I can see you like patting his head, and I don't know if you called him your baby or something, but he would just close his eyes every time you would pat his head, and you would rub his head and pat his head, and he would just love the attention. And you needed to nurture something. You had this really strong need to nurture something in him, and this was like a really symbiotic kind of relationship. So he's just saying that this was his job, and he loved it, and he loved sharing your energy with you. He's not saying anything about his passing, but he's just letting me know that it was a wonderful experience. hmm
Yep, she says, sounds true. Yes, my baby. And I think
So
a lot of
cute.
times animals come through as soulmates too. We just don't realize it maybe, but they're little family members just as important as other people. So big roles.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, cool. Diane just chimed back in. Did you have any more from baby?
Nope, that's it. He doesn't want to say anything about his crossing. He just wants to thank her for the relationship
Hmm.
and the
Definitely.
experience. hmm Oh, she
Okay,
said I can't thank you enough. So I feel like I did pretty much get honey. Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that was
beautiful.
really cute. I could feel him. And I can feel him, and I just want to make sure that this is your dog. Like there's some dog telling me all this, so I want to make sure it's yours. I just it's really important to get that validation. Yeah, but thank you for saying that. Yeah. Okay.
Very
So
cool.
Diane, hmm
Yeah, Diane has two pets. She wants to see if you can get a hold of one or both, if you can. One is a
oh,
collie, Percy, and one's a horse named Sugar. Have you connected to a horse before?
I believe I have. Yes. hmm Yes, I have, and they are very talkative, and that was where I wanted to
That's cool.
start my focus.
Awesome.
So I'm feeling that Sugar was majestic inside, but um, a little bit every day on the outside. He didn't want me to say, or is it he? He didn't want me to say ordinary. I mean, he didn't want me to say, yeah. He just wanted me to. He didn't want me to say. He didn't want me to say ordinary. He said I was more every day on the outside, but on the inside, inside I was a majestic being. And he said that you saw this and recognized this in him of his true essence, even though on the outside he, um, wasn't groomed, didn't have the look or the muscle tone or the shape of a great stallion. He said that you knew that I had that inside of me, even though on the outside I may have had spots on me or just maybe just a little like a sway back on him. He showed me there was like a sway. I don't know if that's what they call it, like a sway back. Like he was. You saw his true essence. He's telling me that he lived to a ripe old age. He said he saw. I'm not. You may not have had him for his entire lifetime. I'm not sure if you had him since birth. You may have rescued him at some point, but he's saying that he wasn't with you for his entire lifetime. Either that or at some point you had to retire him to a retirement farm of some sort. I'm not sure in which direction. He's just saying that he didn't have his entire lifetime shared with you. He said that other animals would come and go. He said other handlers would come and go, like workers on the farm or in the barn would come and go. And you may have even had to keep him in two separate areas, like maybe you moved or that you moved him. He's saying that he just was saying there was changes. He's saying that you grew up, you changed, that you never forgot him. He said you two had telepathic abilities to communicate, even when you were asleep in bed, asleep at night with the window open. You would think of him, and he would know that you were thinking of him outside in the barn, like a quarter mile or a half mile away from the house. You would know that you were connecting with him just because you were thinking about him. He would know you were thinking about him, that you two are connected that way. And he knew that he was your horse. He's he's showing me skinny legs and a little bit bigger of a body, almost like a rounder belly, but really skinny legs. I'm not sure if he had that kind of a shape, but I don't, this is just what he's showing me. He wants to point this out. I don't know why he's showing me this. Um, he's saying that you loved him no matter what, no matter what his physique or, it may have appeared to be like. And he wasn't, I do feel as though, like I said in the beginning, that he lived to be a ripe old horse. Is she saying anything of confirmation at all?
Not yet.
So Diane, let me know if this sounds like sugar, if any of these things resonate with you. I just need to have that point of confirmation before I continue, and or if this is somebody else's source. But you should see the image that I got with the round belly and the skinny legs. You should show me. And he was an older gentleman is what I'm feeling. You never gave up on him and he never gave up on you. So, okay, here she is. Uh-oh. Okay. I think that we may be a little bit delayed. I mean, I know that there is a delay, but I think that this happens to us on Saturdays. I think sometimes there's a lot of people on YouTube, but I'm sure that she'll come back and say something in a minute. But let me see if I can connect with Piercy and see if until she comes back. Because I have a feeling in like a minute or two she'll come back. Piercy, you would say? Yeah, Piercy.
And it looks like it was delayed. I'm watching on my phone so I can watch the bottom of chat and then save my spot in the middle. And they are coming through at different times, but nothing's come through this time. But just to you know confirm what you're saying, that it does seem to be lagging a little bit for some reason.
And I know that we tell them a lot because I think we were lagging a little bit, but you tell them to refresh their screen to catch up, but that's okay. All right,
Yeah.
we can wait a
Yeah,
minute
if
or
you're
two.
buffering or something, you can definitely refresh. And another thing you can do, if you look down in the bottom left corner, if you tap on your screen and it doesn't have the little red dot next to live, then you could be behind a little bit there too if you had to pause it for a second and then come back. But it will, and then you can hit live and it'll bring you to current, but you'll miss anything that, was in between. But it is kind of a great way. If you miss something, you can run it back a little bit and then listen to it and then catch back up. So if you have something for yourself, it does really work out really well.
I didn't know that little red dot next to the live. I just looked and I can see it. Mine's gray, so I'm a few seconds behind.
Right, and
But
you can
look,
actually click on the live and it'll catch it up, or you can keep double tapping on the right if you're just a little behind.
you're right. Now I see the red dot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I think it's just YouTube on Saturdays at this time. There's just a lot of people on and it just gets a little slow. Um, but let me see. What would you, Queen
Percy
of
the dog.
Swords? I like that name. Pardon?
I said there's Percy the dog that we can.
Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can connect to Percy the dog. Percy the dog was he was very proud. He was a hard worker. He was one of the what do they call that? The not hand one of the not a stage hand, but like a somebody. He knew he was one of the workers. Like he knew that he had a role. He knew he had a job, and that he wasn't very much. He was not quite like the Honey from before, where he was a baby and she would dress him up and pet him and say baby baby. He wasn't one of those kinds of dogs. He was a very responsible, smart, hardworking dog that would show you unconditional love um, and but understand that he had that job to do, and a hard worker, and he knew that the job and the responsibility came first. Like he had mm, he he just had a good work ethic, to say the least. But he's saying that he did it for you. He did it for the praise, for the recognition, for the he felt good being able to help on the farm or in the barn or in the at the house on the property. I'm not sure if he was always an outside dog. I'm not sure if you brought him in. He's showing me he's like laying down on a carpet. There's like hardwood floors, and then there's a carpet, and he's laying on a carpet. Not sure if he was always allowed inside, but um, I don't like see him sitting on the couch watching TV with you. I had a dog the other day when I was reading, and that she said the dog told me he would sit on the couch with her. He would think, I mean, it was like this big giant golden lab, and he thought he was like a human, and he would just get up on the couch and sit next to them.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are like that.
It's so funny, but that's not what this dog is not showing me. This he knew his place. He knew that he would lay on this carpet or whatever. This was his place that he would be, and he may even had like a bed or something in a laundry room or in a separate room that he would sleep. Um,
Or he probably slept right on top of her, according to that picture there. It looks like he was a cuddly collie, but
oh,
that's outside.
but yeah, so that's what he's telling me. He was all about responsibility. So let's talk. Let's give him a little story about. Do you remember any of our little adventures, Shane, that we can talk about? Um, One thing I do remember is a VQH that we did together. This is before the last one. I know that I can remember the beginning of the last one, that I was looking out of a window and I was standing inside of a spaceship, and I had a little emblem on my spacesuit, so to speak. And it's not really a spacesuit; it was just an outfit. And you said, "Oh, what does the emblem look like? What does can you try and remember this emblem?" And I said, "I talked to the emblem." And you're like, "Whoa." You're like, "It's a communication device?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there's somebody in there talking to me." And you're like, "Whoa, who is it that where are you talking to?" It was so far out. And I'm like, real calm. The mothership that is communicating with me, because they can see what I can see. It's almost like one of those vest cameras or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
body cameras,
Hmm.
body cam. But I would talk to it too, and they would be able to see what I see, but it was on the chest of my spacesuit. And you were like, "Whoa."
Yeah, like video comms. That's pretty cool. That's like Star Trek, but with cameras and stuff. That was like the next step. I was like, wow, we didn't think of that. But yeah, that would be the next step beyond. And we have kind of moved to body cams, just like you said. So
Hmm.
why wouldn't it
Hmm.
turn into like a little patch in the future that is small enough that it can just go right there and do the job of the big old body cam that we have down here? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cool things. One of my sessions might have been the one with Debbie actually. I went to this mall in the future, and the building was real crystal looking or whatever. But inside, the cars all drove themselves, but they kind of pulled into the inside. And if you wanted to get out, your vehicle kind of pulled over. But there was this corridor I was walking through, and there was this like a lady that was walking with her baby in a stroller, but the stroller looked like a little rocket, and it was just following her. It was like a robotic stroller, and it was just staying right with the mom, and it was like the future. And then like next door to that there was this restaurant that was like a throwback to now times. So everybody in there was like wearing suits, like suit and a tie, and they were going out, and it was like a nice restaurant, but it was for this era. It was like we might go to a 50s cafe type place and they decorate it, but it was decorated for nowadays. So it was kind of funny that it was like the current era, but for them it was old timey. Do you know what I mean? So, and they didn't wear suits and ties anymore, so I don't know. But so that's that'll go away at some point. Thank goodness, right?
So tell me about the stroller. Was the stroller actually have a baby in it, or what was the
Yeah.
rocket? Was the rocket? I'm thinking it was like her makeup bag because the makeup that I have to carry around these days. The hair dryer and all the stuff you have to get, all that stuff. Yeah. So when you said there was a rocket following her, I'm like, is that her makeup bag or is there a baby in there? So
Right.
the
It
the
was actually like if you could think of like half of a rocket, like scooting made out of some kind of plastic, colorful material, and then it had a hole cut out of it, sort of like those planes where people are poking out of the top of it. So you could totally see the baby there, and just looking around. And the rocket was like old timey too. I mean, I think it would even be old timey nowadays. But the fact that it was moving around and following the mom, it was actually more like right beside her, like the tip of it was like right beside her. So the baby was more next to her, but it was just I don't know how it was following her, but she wasn't like using a remote or anything. She was just walking and her baby was, tracked and following right alongside of her. So that was pretty cool.
I wonder if the rocket was monitoring the baby's like need for a change of a diaper or need for a bottle or need for a rock, like whatever the baby would need, the rocket would be able to provide it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It was more like I was just kind of in this corridor and watching what's going on. I'm like, wow, look at that little rocket,
Oh,
following the
okay.
lady. I didn't really think much of it other than like, where the heck are we? And there was so much futuristic stuff there to look at that was just kind of one feature that stuck out to me, that like, wow, I never thought of a stroller that'll stay right with the mom and follow her. And there's no telling what other kind of tech was in it. I was just sort of almost like I was plopped down in the future and I just observed this. I wasn't able to go check it out or anything. But it
Oh.
was very cool to see, just to see things operating that you don't normally see and just think, wow, we actually have the technology probably to do that, now, even, pretty
Mhm.
close to it.
Mhm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. One of the other ones that you and I did together, and Shane is an amazing facilitator for BQHs. If anybody is interested in finding out more about your soul's experience,
Thank you.
Shane is wonderful. He's a wonderful, what would you, facilitator is what you would call it.
Hmm.
And so one of the first ones that I did, we were talking about the shift, and you were saying, is it going to be like this bright light that we're all going to like see and shift all at once? And I remember saying it's more of an individual. We're all going to be doing it at the same time, but we're going to be doing it at different phases. I'll never forget that because you were like, well, how is it different phases when we're doing it all at the same time? And I'm like, we're doing it all at the same time, but we're going through it in a different type of a phase. And it's making more sense to me lately. And I
Yeah, me
think
too.
about that.
That's funny
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I can remember that sort of puzzling me, but it doesn't anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see now.
Because you would dig deeper, and that's the whole idea, is to dig deeper, to find out, to get more information, to dig deeper, because I kept saying that I do see the shift. I see that we're going to be all moving and doing this together, but we're doing it individually. And if we all thought that one day we would see a flash, which we're having these solar flares right now all the time. And somebody said in my chat earlier today, oh, I wish I could find that. um my chat is not up. I hate that. I can't see my chat until the next day now.
Oh
But
no.
she said that there are, energies being uh, downloaded to Earth, for lack of a better term, because of some sort of a planetary alignment or something. I'm sorry, I can't even remember what they said. But there are a lot of energies going on. The solar flares are going on. Different types of planetary alignments are causing different energies to change here on Earth, and we are going through it right now. In case anybody didn't already know that, I have a feeling that we all already knew that. But yeah, so
At least on a
what do we
deeper
have?
level,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Okay. All right. Queen of Swords. Can you see if my guides have a message for me? And thank you for that plug, by the way. I appreciate that. I also want to mention that, Jean, if you want to get a private session with SunPsychic Jean, just check the links below. And you can also check out our YouTube channel and subscribe so you get notifications when she's doing lives and all of that good stuff. All
Thank
that down
you.
below.
Mm-hmm. I love your name. Definitely suits you. And you are cerebral, more like you may do yoga, but you're not like a runner. You're not like a real quick athlete. You're slower and methodical, and you like to have time to think things through and think things out. But you're very cerebral and introspective, and you're an observer of the human sort of I don't know, I'm losing my words, but the human behavior. You're an observer of human behavior and interaction, and you're there to learn and to gather information. I do feel as though you're a star seed as well, and you are yeah, you I believe you are a is it Andromeda? Andromedan? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because these are the really highly intelligent type of scientific analytical star beings that or off planet beings uh, that are here, and you may even be a hybrid. You do know a lot. Um, you're here to collect information, observe, and that sword that I see there is almost like a beam of like a communication device. Um, you're certain about your choices. It's like if you go out to dinner, you know you want the mac and cheese, and there's nothing anybody can say to change your mind. Like you want the mac and cheese, like you make a decision and you're certain about it. There's just something, like people will be like, I don't know what to get. Should I get the spinach dip? But you know what you want, and you know what it is that you want, and you know that you want it. It's something. There's like a certainty. There's a decision, the ability to make a decision, the ability to have like those convictions when you make a decision. Um, and your guides want you to know, that was all me tapping into your energy. So let me see what they want you to tell you. They want you to know that about yourself. They said that this is just a reminder that you already know all this, and that you are a very integral part of the human experience, that without you, the world would not be able to function at such a, um, we would not be able to function. The universe, you're an important part of the universe. You have a higher soul, and you have many like parallel lifetimes, so to speak, and different incarnations. And or you're here on earth, and you also have a um, um, ET higher self that is somewhere else. It's like you have a dual existence, and not only a dual existence, you have a multiple existence as well. You may remember things that never happened in your life that happened in somebody else's life, but it's because you have this awareness. It's almost like you give information, and this is the Andromeda. I think you're part of that mothership that is cloaked over Earth, that you come down, observe, gather information, and go back to the ship and tell them what you know, and then you come back. I mean, like and this is your consciousness leaves your human body, but this is your mission here, and that Andromeda. I hope that's right. It sounds right. The mothership. You exist as a being. The other part of your soul is a being in that ship simultaneously with this being that you are here on Earth. How's that, Queen of Swords?
That is a really cool message. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for the question, Queen of Swords. Okay, let me scooch back up here. Uh, let's see. Matt wants to know, what do you mean by how much time do I have left? Do you mean in life? It says, I am a woman in my mind, spirit. Am I this way to help others and gain wisdom in this life? Not sure about the how much time do I have left sort of question. You can
Hmm.
be more
Hmm.
specific.
Um, Hi, Matt. How are you doing? Um, I think that I do remember connecting with you one another time in the past, and it's I think that we spoke about some of the labeling and even you feeling as the divine feminine is stronger within you than your divine masculine. And this is what is coming in strong for you to help to balance the divine feminine here in this world, in this frequency, in this density, in this realm. You're here to help balance this. We all have divine masculine and divine feminine within each one of us, and our challenge in this lifetime is to help to balance these two. Um, and you have taken on a huge type of mission to appear and feel in a more diverse or more dual type of way. Um, because you appear in one way and you feel more of another way, the challenge of you balancing these two feminine and masculine energies within your being is a greater challenge for you. But we are both, and I do know that you favor feminine qualities and feminine appeal, likes, and thought patterns and behaviors and desires. Um, um, and it's all okay. And it's okay to be you, and it's okay for you to be this dual existence here on earth. It's um, it's your life's plan to live and uh, walk on this earth with the challenge of balance and to accept both, to cherish yourself and love yourself for who and what and how you feel you are, to love yourself exactly the way you are. And I think I told you before that the angelic realm is androgynous and does not have a gender, but they do have gender fluid. Like they sometimes present as a masculine energy, and then sometimes they present as a feminine energy, and they have both inside of them. And we all have both inside of us. And um, it's really important for you not to dismiss your outside appearance because it doesn't match what the society may say your inside feelings look like. It's okay to be both. It's okay to be blended. It's okay to be who you are. And I don't have all the terminology, but I do know that there is terminology out there. Um, I think it's important to seek for counseling for people who do have this ability to help educate and guide you through the process of understanding more about your feelings and your thoughts and your challenges. Um, that would be what I have to offer you.
The other thing I would add too is that, like you mentioned, that we all have these qualities, and a lot of times the programming of being raised a male and not to cry and to show feelings about, or not to be nurturing or sensitive, all of these are really just programming to suppress the divine feminine, because we should all feel these things. And even when women are told, not to cry or whatever, this is suppressing the divine feminine. It's the divine feminine that feels things, the nurturer, that we, even if I mean, we're told to be high vibe and stuff, but we don't want to suppress those feelings either. We want to work through them rather than suppressing them, because suppressing them is suppressing the divine feminine. So there's a lot to work through, but as long as we can realize that there's nothing wrong with us, I think that's a lot of the labeling that people add to us, is that there's like inherently something wrong with you, but you were born perfect to do the job are here to do. So just have faith in that and relax in that, and just move forward, being guided by your heart is all I would add to that. Great advice, Gene. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. All the best to you, Matt. I know that you'll find the help that you need and the answers that you're looking for. Um, thank you for being here and asking the question.
I have let's do one last one, because I think we both have to go at the top of the hour. My wife's gonna be ready then. So Edie, um, who brought up Mike from My Skies 5D. We love him so much and miss him, and he came through to me in a very powerful way. And I noticed those people that are sort of bubbly, like Eileen was like that, Mike was like that. They had this sort of bubbly personality, and for me anyway, that helps them come through for me. It's just I kind of resonate with that bubbliness, and it's like a frequency match. So yeah, it's just great to realize that what connected us here is what keeps us connected, even though Mike's passed on. So thank you for this question. Edie wants to know if I lost some dear loved ones in the last 2 years. So any messages? Want to just go for your spirit team then, or a specific loved one? I guess since we're short on time, we can just go for a message from guides or something.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, Edie, I have a female coming forward, and she has like an energy signature of like a mother. And I would say that would be the generation. So either like a mother or an aunt, um, or even like an older cousin. But I feel as though it's a mother energy for you, Edie, that is coming forward. And she is just embracing you and sort of like almost rushing over and embracing you, like you're here, you're here, you're here. And it's not that you're not there at. It's just that she wants you to know how much that she is missing this embrace and really wanting to connect with you and to give you this comfort of an embrace, of a mother's embrace. I feel that, does that make sense? Is she saying anything? I don't know if she can.
Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't update the screen. Not yet.
Okay. It does feel like it's a female mother-like energy. And let me just see what she wants to say. If she could tell me her name, that'd be a little better. But she just wants you to know how much that she loves you, how much that she is aware of what you're going through. She wants you to know how great, how strong you have been through all of these challenges here in your lifetime. And she just wants you to know that she is standing by you and encouraging you. It's almost like, you know how somebody gets down on all fours so that somebody else can step on their back to look up over the fence or something.
Mm-hmm.
She said she's like almost letting you stand on her back to support and to push you up. She's saying that I'm here for you. I'm under your feet. I'm under your hands. I'm under your, like, she's just saying that she is lifting you up and carrying you and guiding you. But mostly that she's lifting you up. She wants you to know that this is her that is encouraging you to, the days where you just don't want to get out of bed, and she's just saying that this is me. And it's almost like when she used to say, come on now, you got to get up, you got to do your chores or whatever. She said, this is still me. It's me who's encouraging you to get up and to move and to start engaging again. and she said that you're a very strong woman, and that it's important for you to take time for your feelings and to take time to heal and to nurture yourself and to recover and renew, reveal. She's saying something else with an R. Revive, something else with an R. I can't think of it. I'm not getting it. But she's saying to relieve, probably relieve, relieve, relieve you of these burdens and this trauma and this shock that trauma that you've been through in this lifetime. She's saying that you can do it. She's saying don't carry it as a burden. She said you can wear it as like a tattoo that you'll never forget. It's always part of you, but it's not a heavy bag of a burden. She's saying wear it proudly and make it part of you and allow it to give you strength rather than to pull you down as if you were carrying like a bag. And she's showing me a bag of like a train set. Like if you would carry like a train set in a bag and try and carry that around, very unusual. And that might mean something to you, but that you're carrying around this heavy train set. And she's saying instead take a picture of it and wear it proudly and have it reinforce and strengthen you that you'll carry it with you wherever you go. She said it's not leaving it behind. It's not forgetting that it ever happened. She's saying to bring it along with you and wear it as part of your armor is what she's saying. Wow.
She's saying, "Oh, thank you. I call out to Mother all the time. Yes, I feel her breath sometimes. It's really cool." And she goes on to ask, "I do have trauma. Is it over?"
Um, sorry, I was laughing at Lark. Let me just use my pendulum because I have a knowing or a something that I've learned. But in Edie's life, is her trauma or days of her trauma over? That is definitely my yes symbol. I don't know if you can see that
Very
swinging back and
strong.
forth.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a yes for sure. So I'll show you a no. So I'm asking it to stop. Am I 7 feet tall? So this is my no symbol. This like east and west is no and north and south is yes. So this is my no symbol. So when I asked if your trauma is over, they said yes. And a lot of times when we have these types of traumas in our life, it is a oh, good, good. She understands that bag of trains. Yeah. Um, um, I lost my train. Get it, my train of thought. How about that? Oh
It's in the
my
bag.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, what just
But
popped in my head just then was how we can actually go and revisit ourselves from now, just sit in meditation and go back to your younger self that was traumatized or hurt and comfort yourself because no one knows you like you do. And having this knowledge from the future, you can comfort yourself back then and just love on yourself and appreciate yourself and just encourage yourself. I know it sounds silly, but a lot of times that will help you release that trauma that's almost just hanging on you like an ornament on a Christmas tree, right? And it just needs to be acknowledged and then let go. And that's really one good tool I found is to take people back to that. But you don't need someone to take you back there. You can just sit with it, and you'll have these memories. I'll sometimes have a traumatic memory that pops in my head. I'm like, oh, I better go deal with that. I forgot about that. That I'm sure that's left some residue around. So I'll go sit with it, and I think more and more I've been having my guides working with me on a lot of things. Just on myself, but a lot of things I'm carrying around.
absolutely. And I do remember what I was about to say is that a lot of times after we suffer some trauma in our lifetime, that we have this almost like an awareness that opens up that a connection to our divine self that it was never there before, and it changes us, but it changes us, and we always have this wisdom and connection from the awareness that opens up after the trauma. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. All the best to you, Edie.
Well, thank you guys. Actually, we'll be back here in just a month. We'll be back on December 16th, Saturday. So if you've missed this or you're watching this later and you're like, man, I'd really like to join one of these live, set your calendar now for December 16th, Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll be doing this all again. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's so much fun, and you spoil me, Shane. I tell you all the time, because I usually have to read my own chat and choose my own questions, and now you allow me to the space, and I trust you that I can come into my altered state of awareness, consciousness, and just stay up here with spirit, stay up here, and it allows me to deliver those messages just a little finer. And I just thank you very much for the
Oh, my
opportunity.
pleasure. Yeah, and I can tell that you're able to put more focus there. It's almost like you have to keep one foot here when you're having to do stuff here or think about stuff here. And so, yeah, I'm glad to be. It's kind of like the left brain, like I do in sessions, right? It's like I'm kind of doing the analytical stuff over here and letting you focus on staying connected with the right brain. So really, that's what we're doing.
We may be onto something. I
Yeah.
think that's an answer that a lot of people are having questions to.
Yeah. The main thing, guys, is just to go within and trust your intuition and let everything else be a confirmation of what you feel in your heart and your internal guidance, because we're all on our own individual journey. We all have our own stuff going on. I think it's important that we tap into what our greater plan is.
Absolutely. Sending lots of love and light and healing. And thank you all very much who asked your questions. Thank you all who were here and supporting all those who were asking their questions, and all of those who watch. I mean, after the fact, there's like hundreds of you that watch this after the fact. So just say a little hello to Shane in the comments below, and please do give him a thumbs up. This is his channel. He's gracious enough to allow me to showcase my gift here. So please do share the love of Shane, and thank you so very much.
No problem. And if you guys are joining in late, the links are down in the description to connect with SunPsychic Jean for a personal reading or on her YouTube channel. And if you're in the United States, we want to say have a great Thanksgiving, a happy Thanksgiving this upcoming week. And I think that just about does it.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, lots of love, light, and unity. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, Shane. Bye-bye, everybody.